When I went for the second transvaginal and transabdominal ultrasound, this was the one when the person was checking to see if I had a miscarriage the first time. Um, I asked the ultrasound technician or radiologist, I'm not sure what you call them, I asked her, how many fibroids do I have? And she said to me that they don't count all of them. Their report will only address those of significance based on the size, the location, or the potential to cause problems. Um, well, that was good to know. And I would say that I was grateful for that second ultrasound technician because her report was a lot clearer and it was a lot more thorough. The first person did not specify the location of each of my fibroids, but the second lady did, and that really helped me to understand how exactly the position of each of these was affecting my body. So now I could say, okay, well, that's why my bladder is doing this, that's why my hip is doing that, because this thing is here. Also, I started using um, something in Canada called PocketHealth. It's a platform that allowed me then to access my imaging and my report. So the GP had been giving me a printout of the report, but he didn't give me the images. At this point, I needed to know what the hell was going on inside of my body. And using PocketHealth actually allowed me to access my images, like all of my images, because they're all tied to my health insurance number. So any images that I took in Canada since I've lived here were all on record. And that was valuable for me. So then I was able to see exactly where the fibroids are and know the exact measurements for each one. So I had one that was 7.7 centimeters, one that was 7.2, one that was 4.6, one that was 2 centimeters, one that was 2.8 centimeters, and then, well, actually, no, the 2.8 is an intracavitary fibroid. They said it was either a fibroid or a polyp. They weren't sure, but I'll get to that shortly because I had that discussion with the gynecologist. And then the one that had the central cystic degeneration, that was 4.8 centimeters. So there were six that were significant, but the ultrasound report said that I needed maybe to go and get further imaging. They suggested an MRI. I wasn't sent for MRI. I actually went and got a sonohysterogram. That was not fun. Hold on. Now, before I talk about the sonohysterogram, let's put a pin in that because at this point in the story, the doctor actually has not mentioned this to me as yet. So my first gynecologist appointment, I went in and she said to me that there are some medications that could shrink fibroids, but because of the size of my fibroids, this medicine would not have any effect. So typically it works like mimicking menopause or something like that to make it shift your hormones, and it would cause the fibroids to shrink. That was not an option for me because mine were too large to really have a significant improvement. And she said, well, I'll have to get surgery to have them removed. When I got home, I cried. Just the thought of getting cut open scared the out of me. But anyhow, during the appointment with the gynecologist, she did an examination, and it was, I don't remember what they call it, but it's like both hands at the same time. So one hand is inserted, and then the other one is on the outside pressing. And she was saying, like, wow, I can feel it. And well, duh, because sometimes it actually sits very low. I don't know if that's in my cervix or what, but sometimes it sits very, very low that there's pressure. So definitely fibroids cause problems for intercourse. It's not fun. That's all I'll tell you. It's not comfortable, and sometimes it's painful, and sometimes it's gotta be shallow. It's not fun. So yeah, it was pretty easy for her to feel what she was looking for. And I remember thinking, oh, good, because at this point, I still, for some reason, I still kept doubting that I had a problem. I still kept saying to myself, I was making this shit up. despite 2 ultrasounds already, three actually, if I count the one from 3 years prior, I still was not believing that there was something going on inside of me. And therefore, I still felt this relief. Oh, the doctor felt something. So this is real. I'm not making this up. Okay, so then she said, I need to go for a sonohysterogram. Um, I was like, all right, let's go. I'm ready for that. Let's go right now. Couldn't go right away because I had just had that period, that miscarriage actually. And so I had to wait until my next cycle because apparently you can only get your sonohysterogram done between the 5th and the 12th day of your cycle. Um, so I finally got that booked, and you have to call on the first day of your first bleeding, full day of bleeding. You have to call so that they know when day one is, and then they count to book you between the 5th and the 12th day of your cycle. Um, and they tell you before the appointment to take a painkiller, specified Advil. I don't know of something different elsewhere, but take a painkiller because there will be cramping as a result of the procedure. The procedure itself was not painful. It was not comfortable. It was uncomfortable, but it was not painful. So pretty much I kind of sat on the edge of this bed, knees up and spread apart, and the doctor put a catheter in to deposit some saline solution, and then they put in whatever device to the camera bit to take photographs inside. Excuse me. And oh, this was after, they use a speculum first to crank it open, then the water, then the camera for the photos. And she put, after she was done, she put a paper towel over me and she said, okay, get them off of the bed and let yourself drain a little bit. So I had to let this water drain out onto this napkin in my hand. And you're supposed to put a pad in your underwear to soak up any additional drainage. And there was a little bit of blood. But the real problems hit me the following day, or the afternoon, and then the following day. Because when the painkiller wore off, oh my God,